Yes, good morning, my dear students. Uh, in the last class, we have to discussing about the major historical development during the medieval period. What are the in which sector the what are they developed? What are they developed in the medieval history or in the medieval period? Here, they in the changes in the administration it means the Mughal empire they built the strong empire. hmm, and the lot of changes in religious sector also. What are the changes in religious sector, especially in Hinduism? They had started the bhakti movement. So many reformers, social reformers, reform the society. This kind of changes in the medieval history. So and after that, what happened? After that, what happened? So let us be discussing the sources of the medieval history. The sources of sources of medieval history. Here already what I think you have to studied in the last year, previous year, in the first chapter about the sources. So in the sources we have classified the two types. one is one is one is archaeological archaeological source. Then another one is literary source. Another one is literary source. Isn't it? Why we want the sources? Why we want these sources? When the historians make the history, when the historians they have make the history, we want the sources. See here, the historians it means the study of past is called a history. Past it means you knowing about the past. You knowing about the past. You should know about the sources. By got the informations by the sources. We should got the knowledge about the history. First, we should got the informations by the sources. The historians they have studied the sources. They have made the history. That is the past, isn't it? Here, the medieval period, there are two main sources. In the medieval period also, there are two main sources they are available by making the history. The first one is archaeological sources, then second one is literary sources. First one is the archaeological sources and the literary sources. These are the two types of sources. These are the two types of the sources, isn't it? And now we have discussing about that. The first one is archaeological sources. What it includes the archaeological sources. Here, I think you have to study in the last year what is epigraphy. What is epigraphy? Epigraphy. What do you mean epigraphy? Epigraphy it means nothing but the study of inscriptions. Inscriptions. The study of inscriptions. It's called epigraphy. A manuscript. Manuscript. Here. So Now this is knowing about first one is archaeological sources. Archaeological sources. Archaeological sources is the first type of the sources. It includes the archaeological sources classified into various types. Again, these archaeological sources they classified the various types. The first one is epigraphic evidence. Epigraphic evidence. Epigraphic evidence. It means inscriptions. Then second one is numismatics evidence. Yes. Numismatic evidence. Numismatic, the study of coins, it is called numismatics. Numismatic means study of coins. Numismatic evidence. Then third one is buildings and sculpture. Buildings and sculpture. It means monuments. Then fourth one is artistic evidence. Artistic evidence. It means art. Artistic evidence means paintings. Here, in the inscriptions it means our ancestors at the early man, he didn't know about anything by the literature or literary works. They are unable to read and write. So they engraved the writing on the rocks. The engraved the writings on the rocks. ಅವರ ಬರವಣಿಗೆಗಳನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂಡೆಗಲ್ಲುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ. By their own scripts. Isn't it? Engrave the writings on the rocks and the walls of the temples, then walls of the house. Those sources, the lot of informations about the particular period and those who are ruling. The inscriptions, for example, the Allahabad pillar inscription. The Allahabad pillar inscriptions, it gives a lot of informations about the Gupta dynasty. The Allahabad pillar inscriptions give a lot of informations about Gupta dynasty. Then Musky inscription. It gives a lot of informations about Ashoka. Those dynasties, the Mauryan dynasty, then Gupta dynasty, those dynasties, their establishment the empire in the many years ago. Such kind of informations we have got by the inscriptions. That is the epigraphic evidence. Then numismatics, when they had manufactured or made the coins, they should mention the year. Yes, they should mention the year. For example, here, so you once again you check out, this is a 2 rupees coin. So they have mentioned in this coin, mentioned the year also, 2017. In any other coin, just you check out in your houses, in your homes, just you can watch that whatever they had manufactured the coin, they should mention the year. They should mention the year. And those coins is indicates and give the informations about the states, and so which kind of the state he has, either it is rich or poor empire. Suppose the poor empire was there, those kings they had made the coin by the copper, iron, like that. That's it indicates that, oh, the king was very poor. That's why he has made the coin by the metal, copper, bronze, and iron. Suppose that empire was very rich. The people or the king has made the coin by the gold or silver, like that. That is a coin. Then buildings and sculptures, the monuments, even your native district, one of the great historical monument is there, the Gol Gumbaz. It gives a lot of information about the Adil Shahi dynasty, that is monument. Then one of the most famous monument in India, Taj Mahal, when it should be built, and built by whom, and how should it has populated in the world. Such kind of informations available by the buildings. Then artistic evidence, it means paintings. Paintings. Some other they have got no knowledge in the paintings. How much is there, and which kind of the paintings they had, and how much made the coloring. The evidence are given the lot of information about the archaeological sources. Now we detailed explanations about inscriptions. Inscriptions, it means epigraphy or evidence. Epigraphy, evidence. Epigraphy, evidence, it means inscriptions. Inscriptions. The study of inscriptions or epigraphy is known as epigraphy. Already I told. The study of inscriptions is called epigraphy. The study of inscription is called epigraphy. The writing engraved on the hard surface, the inscriptions were written in the various languages and the scripts. In the ancient period, the epigraphy was made on the cave walls, rocks, and stone pillars, etc. Later on, it was even done in the copper plates. Yes, later on, they should write the inscriptions on the copper plates. Copper plates. Later, in the medieval period, those people they have written on the copper plates. In the ancient period, the people they have written engraved on the rocks, pillars, then walls of the temples and houses. These inscriptions give the brief details of the temples or statues or long text in the form of the poems. In the form of the poems written in the praise of kings. Those inscriptions, it gives the information about the temples, then statues, then long text, means like a books, and it got by the poem, and the role of the poem written in the praise of king. Yes, the king has made praise the god. Then let us be discussing the second one is numismatics. It means coins. Numismatics are coins. The study of coins is called numismatics. Now we are discussing about coins. Coins were the currency. Coins means currency. Used the ruler in the medieval period, as it was the easy to engrave anything building on them. The study of coins is called numismatics. Already I told the study of coins is called numismatic. The coin generally convey the message to the name of the ruler. Yes, the coin it convey the message to the name of the ruler who are ruled in the particular period. They have mentioned the period also on the coin. And the dates of issues help the historians to clarify the doubts and events. The most of the coins were issued. The most of the coins are issued by the sultans of Delhi. Most of the coins are issued a period of the sultans of Delhi. Sultans of Delhi. The Mughals kings and the Chola rulers. The most of the coins has manufactured during the time of the Delhi sultans and the Mughals empires and the Chola rulers. Chola rulers. And painting. Painting is a very important source of medieval history. Painting, it is the very important sources of in which history? The medieval Indian history. They tell us about the customs. So which kind of the customs they have and a ruler, then socio-political life of the period. Socio-political life of the medieval period. So the caste system like that and the skills of the people, then political life of the people. They have got informations by the paintings, then monuments and buildings. The fourth aspect is in the archaeological sources, the monuments and the building. The monuments includes temples. The monuments includes temples, mosques, forts, tombs, etc. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಈ ಸ್ಮಾರಕಗಳು ಏನನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರ ಎಸ್ ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳನ್ನ ಮತ್ತ ಮಸೀದಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕೋಟೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮತ್ತ ಗೋರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಮಾನ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ and they not only tell us about the religious the practices but also about the society, architecture and economic political condition. The monuments it give the informations about the political powers and economical condition of the particular empire. And some of the most famous monuments are Red Fort in Delhi. The Red Fort. Where is Red Fort? In Delhi. In Delhi. Then the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal. Where is Taj Mahal? In Agra. In Agra. And several temples in south. Many other temples are there in the south India. Those also give a lot of information about the monuments. Yes, what happens? Let's go in the next period. Okay, dear students, now you take the homework. Yes. How many types in sources which are those? Which are those? Write the various types in archaeological sources. Then what is epigraphy? What is is an epigraphy. And the fourth one is write briefly about points. Yes, please write down the answers for those questions.